Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by The Guild. Let's dive right into what everyone's talking about. Dez Bryant and his meeting on Friday. 4 stars on this one, heavily reported already. Jerry Jones and Dez Bryant will meet on Friday to discuss Bryant's contract and, of course, his future with the Dallas Cowboys. The deadline picked, I think notably, of course, the offseason program starts on April 16th. That's a clear sign that Dez is going to have to make a decision here in the near future. At least the Cowboys will have to make a decision about Dez Bryant in the near future. It is worth mentioning as well that Mike Fisher told Dez Bryant to call his agent, see what's going on with the Cowboys, and then the next day the Cowboys set up their meeting with Dez Bryant. So we'll know more about Dez's meeting after Friday, or his future after Friday. But what are some of the possible options here? Could the Cowboys cut Dez Bryant? 2 stars on this one. You can pretty much take your pick of the reporter around the Cowboys that thinks the Cowboys will cut Dez Bryant. But I'm just still not quite as convinced. I'm going to stick with 2 stars on this one, as I have throughout the offseason. Look, despite his issues, despite being overpaid, I agree with you on that, Dez is the Cowboys' #1 wide receiver. Do you really want to enter the draft with Allen Hurns, Terrence Williams, Cole Beasley as your top options? And if you go get someone like a Calvin Ridley or DJ Moore, all of a sudden you're now not addressing needs at linebacker, at safety, at the offensive line, at defensive tackle, because you're spending an early round pick on a wide receiver. The Cowboys could try and get Dez to take a pay cut. I'm just not as convinced the Cowboys will move on from Dez. And it does help, by the way, that our next rumor is Dez taking a pay cut. Kind of helps play into this mindset as well. Ian Rappaport says he would be surprised if Dallas cut Dez Bryant, but still 2 stars on this one. I think it's firmly in that rumor category here. The quote from Rap Sheet is that, quote, "I would be surprised if Dez is not on the Cowboys next year, and they are expected to carry him for the 2018 season." He says there's likely going to be a pay cut, maybe not a big one, but a pay cut as well. But I will mention this as well, and this is why it's only 2 stars. This is supposed to be a Jerry Jones and a Dez Bryant meeting. As of right now, we don't know if Stephen Jones is going to be there. If the Cowboys are doing a pay cut, Stephen Jones is the money guy within the Cowboys organization. He's the one who's going to structure out this pay cut type deal. So if he's not there, I think that does hurt the situation for a pay cut around Dez Bryant. And of course, maybe the last time we'll ever have this reaction poll up on screen for you guys. What should the Cowboys do with Dez Bryant? Heart for a keep, like for a pay cut, a laughy face for a cut, and a wow face for a trade. I'll mention this as well right now. The reality is, look, we don't know what's going to happen with Dez Bryant. That's why it's been in the 2 heads all season long. We simply don't know if he's going to get cut, or if there's going to be a pay cut involved, or if they're going to keep him at their current cap hit there. That's the big question mark around the Cowboys right now. Again, I have argued it, and I'll continue to argue it. You keep Dez Bryant. Try like hell to get him to take a pay cut. If he doesn't, you keep him anyway because you get worse. And Jerry Jones will tell you the Cowboys are trying to win a Super Bowl. You cut Dez Bryant, your chances go down if you do that. For those of you watching the show for the first time, you've seen the stars throughout. Here's what they mean. 0 stars, the number fights OBJ, 1 against the net. Don't buy that rumor. 1 star means there's a small shred of truth involved. It could come true, but don't bank on it happening. 2 stars means the people are talking, firmly in that rumor category. 3 stars means it's pretty likely, not quite a done deal, but this one should go down. And 4 stars means that Dez caught it. And oh my goodness, if Dez is cut, I think we have to change 4 stars as well. I think we'll have to do that. So another reason why not to cut Dez Bryant. All right, keep it rolling now with some more rumors around your Cowboys. Did Dez Bryant miss an event? 4 stars on this one. Not a good news item here for Dez Bryant. He was supposed to go to Tyrone Crawford camp up in Canada, and he never actually showed up. The promotional material had Dez on it. Dez Bryant was a no-show. Now, we don't know why Bryant didn't show up, and maybe there's a good excuse as to why he did. Maybe he was sick or had a more pressing matter to attend to, but not a good look for Bryant. And again, reportedly a pattern of behavior for Dez Bryant that not a promising one that you want to see, and that's some of the reasons why some within the Cowboys organization want to cut Dez this offseason. We'll stick with some receivers here. Does Terrence Williams need to use his hands when he catches? 4 stars, and it actually comes from Terrence Williams. He was very active yesterday on social media and was like, hey, I know that I got to do better. I'm going to do better for you guys out there that are Cowboys fans. And then he was told by a fan that he needs to learn to catch with his hands. That's all that's keeping him from being great. And Terrence agrees, says facts. I can't disagree. So I like that from T-Will. Look, we've ripped on him in the past. We said that Bryce Miller should have played over him. But in reality, I like this decision here. I like T-Will being vocal about saying, yeah, I need to do better as a receiver. And by the way, for those of you that think Dez is going to get cut, this is some nice evidence. All of a sudden, T-Will is being more vocal and being maybe more of a leader in terms of on Twitter and social media. Maybe he was told, hey, we need you to be the elder statesman in that receiver locker room. Keep it going now with some linebacker talk. How about Jaylon Smith? Does he plan to stay at middle linebacker? Well, 3 stars. That's when we're kind of reading between the lines of what Jaylon Smith recently said. He did a radio interview, said he didn't know about playing Sam linebacker, but he knows that, he played pretty well at middle linebacker as the year went on, got better the more and more that he played. Did say he played wherever the coaches asked, but I think Smith wants to stay at the middle linebacker spot. I kind of think that's his best spot as well. He can play some Sam on first down, second down because he can blitz a bit, but you want him at middle linebacker because that's what you drafted him to be. Now, maybe you don't trust his health going forward, but Smith looked a lot better as the year went on, especially later in the season. That's a big deal for me. I would like to see Smith be your middle linebacker. Even though that's the case, however, you still have to draft a linebacker. So I want to know from you guys, when should the Cowboys draft that linebacker? I don't want him in round 1. I think you can wait till round 2, round 3, get someone like a Josie Jewell, a Jerome Baker, maybe a Malik Jefferson, a Fred Warner, and let them be your number 3 linebacker. Now, if you don't trust Jaylon Smith, you don't trust Sean Lee, I get that. Maybe then you want to spend an early round pick on a backer. But I think you guys would agree with me here. The ideal situation for the Cowboys is Sean Lee, Jaylon Smith are healthy for all 16 games and play the way we think and know that they can. If that's the case, do you really want to spend a first-round pick for a guy that's going to play, 40% of your snaps? That's not the route I want to go. I want to upgrade at a different position. Maybe it's at defensive tackle if Vita Vea is there. But I think you wait on linebacker a little bit. The mock drafts I've done and played around with, I like the Cowboys haul better when they wait on a linebacker. We're going to talk more draft stuff here in just a second, but first, it was from our sponsor, The Guild. All right, guys, we'll keep it rolling here. How about the Cowboys and Isaiah Oliver? Well, just the 1 star on this one. There is some truth to it, but it's not likely by any means. The Cowboys did have a workout/visit with Isaiah Oliver. I think it was just on the workout side of things, so they met with him. But he's going to go, I think, at least in round 2. The Cowboys with Byron Jones, Chidobe Awuzie, Jordan Lewis, Anthony Brown, they don't really need a cornerback. So I would be stunned if they spent a high pick on a cornerback. A safety, sure. Cornerback, not so much. So there's some truth to this, but don't get your hopes up if you want Isaiah Oliver on the Cowboys. Move to some receivers now. How about the Cowboys and James Washington, the Oklahoma State deep threat? 2 stars on this one. The Cowboys met in some capacity with Washington. There's some debate about what type of level it was. Rapport said it was a private workout in Dallas. Another report said it was an official visit. If it took place in Dallas and it was a workout, that sounds like an official visit to me, so that's what I'm going to assume it is here. Not quite sold either way, though. Look, I think the Cowboys are going to draft a wide receiver early. Maybe it's Washington. I have some doubts about him because I don't know what his elite trait is. Great production, can be a deep threat, but his measurables and his speed and his height and size don't profile great as a deep threat, but he's talented. I would be okay with him on the Cowboys, but not in the first round, maybe as a round 2 option. Speaking of a round 2 option, how about DJ Chark and the Cowboys? This was going to be a mailbag question, and then the report comes out today. The Cowboys met with DJ Chark, 2 stars on this one, and I know a lot of you guys like DJ Chark. I saw a lot of that in the comments section Tuesday on the Cowboys Report show, and I get it. The dude can fly. Yeah, there wasn't great production at LSU, but his quarterback play was terrible, and we've seen other LSU receivers go from bad quarterback play and have massive success in the NFL. I still have some visions of Cordarrelle Patterson, other type receivers that can be really fast and don't put up great production. And yes, he's a little bit raw, but in round 2, I'd consider it, but I think there are better options available for the Cowboys than Chark, but I get the love affair with him. I wouldn't be heartbroken if the Cowboys took him in round 2. So I want to know from you guys. The Cowboys, look, we know it. They've shown a ridiculous amount of interest in wide receivers in the draft. So what receiver or receivers do you want the Cowboys to draft? Let me know what guys you like, what players you're considering there, when you want to take them there. I'll respond with some other guys there. I think there are a lot of quality number 2 wide receivers available in this year's draft class.